All right, welcome to the webinar. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and you can type in your names at the bottom. Type in your name to let us know that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Okay. We have a number of people. Just type in your name. Welcome. Welcome to the webinar. Great, great. Tommy, good. Welcome. Good, Tommy. All right. Let's see. We have some others. Let's chime in. Get signed in right away. Good. Jana. Good. Welcome. Belinda. Excellent. Okay. Good, good. Well, this is Dr. Herbert Harris, and we are now getting ready to share the How to Overcome the Lack of Focus webinar. Good, Belinda? Good, good, good. All right, we are right at the top of the hour. Billy, good. Welcome to the webinar. Great. Everybody can hear me and see my screen. It should say How to Overcome Lack of Focus. Just type in that you can hear me and see my screen. Okay. You can hear me and see my screen. Just type that in and hit send. All right, I can hear and see. Thank you so much, Billy. All right, folks, it's showtime. Let me get started. Okay. Okay, now, very, very good. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and tonight our special webinar is on how to overcome lack of focus. And just a little bit about myself. I'm a retired attorney, and I've been in the personal development arena for over 35 years. I was a former director of the Science of Living Institute in New York City, and I am the CEO of the Life Skill Institute and a $1 million earner in direct marketing. I speak all over the world and enjoy sharing, you might say, success principles with others. If there was a word that sometimes people ask, are you a motivational speaker? And I say, absolutely not. I'm a transformational speaker because my job is to transform, is to help people transform themselves into whatever they desire to be. The text for our course is one of my books, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. I've written other books, How to Make Money in Music, The Golden 12 Universal Rules for Achieving Success. But the 12 Universal Laws of Success has been a universal book, and really we have sold over 700,000 copies, and it has been translated into, about 8 languages. We have Chinese, Italian, French, Spanish, Romanian, Indian, Saudi Arabian. The bottom line is this is a book that has gone around the world because it has been able to help so many people change their lives and become whatever they want to become. So let us get rolling. Let's start right in. So welcome to the How to Overcome Lack of Focus webinar. All right, before we get in, let me just check 1 second. And let's see, we have, okay, great. Okay, we have a lot of other people there. Marcella, good, good, good. Welcome, welcome. So, welcome to the How to Overcome the Lack of Focus webinar. And I'd like to start off by saying why is focus important? And most of the material we cover in this webinar comes from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And throughout, as we cover certain points, I'm going to give you some page references. And if you don't have one, you need to get one right away. So starting at the top, why is focus important? And focus is important because every person that you meet, every success book, every spiritual writing states that your attention must always be focused on your goals, your vision, and your purpose. Where there is no focus, you fail. There's a great principle, and it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Where you have no focus, you will fail. A lot of the material is covered under the sixth universal law of success, and this is the universal law of focus and discipline. And the pages in our textbook are pages 106 through 116. The foundation of the law of focus is your attention must always be focused on your goals, your vision, and your purpose. Now, I like to look at attention as your active energy, focusing on an objective. But there's also another aspect of focus, and it's called your intention. And that's that internal connection between yourself and that which you're seeking. So your attention and your intention must always be focused on your goals, your vision, and your purpose. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions must always be under your control. If they are not, your thoughts can rule you, your emotions, your actions can take you so far off path that you'll be very, very unhappy. There's a beautiful quote that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom come through what we see. There's a principle established, and it says, the light of the body is in the eye. If your eye is single, in other words, if you're focused on one thing, then your whole body will be full of light. And so whatever you focus on grows, it comes into your life. It fills your entire life with you might say, the objective of your focus. So knowledge, understanding, wisdom come through what you see, that to which you give your attention. One of the great network marketers once said, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So to be focused means to exert such self-control that no one and nothing can deter or distract you from your goals and your vision. Let me say that again. To be focused means to exert such self-control that no one and nothing can deter or distract you from your goals and your vision. The more focused you are, the more successful you become. Focus creates a harmonic relationship between you and the object of your focus. That harmonic relationship, based on how strong it is, creates a magnetic force which attracts into your space that which you're seeking, the people you need to know, the events, the wherewithal, the resources. There's a lot of writing about the law of attraction, where the law of attraction has the law of focus as a very profound foundation. Success leaves clues. And so when we look at these success principles, there are certain clues, and when we see the clues, we can act accordingly. So right now, those of you who are on the webinar, if you are not happy with your life, with your finances, with your relationships, with your business, are you experiencing disappointment, discouragement, and frequent failures? Are you putting forth a lot of effort, but not making any progress? I know as a person who is just a ball of energy, I'm a workaholic. And sometimes I find myself putting forth a lot of effort, but not making any progress. That becomes frustrating. And so if this is where you are right now, then you are in the perfect place to change. These are great indicators that you're not focused in your endeavors and that your life is out of focus. We often say, if what you focus on grows, then if you're having negative things in your life, we often say life is like a garden. You plant flowers, you plant beautiful plants that can just fill the air with good smells and beauty. You never have to plant weeds, but weeds will surely come. And so, whatever you focus on, if you focus on the flowers, the weeds will grow, and that can take you off focus. So, one of the things you learn about focus is you have to not only focus on the good things, but you must also focus on eliminating the bad things. So if this is the case and your life is out of order and the things are not going the way you want them to, then remember this: wherever you place your focus, your thoughts, your emotions, and even events and activities will follow. So conversely, if the life that you're experiencing, if the thoughts that are dominating your mind, the thoughts of lack and limitation, if the emotions that are controlling you are fear, indecision, if negative things keep happening time and time again, that's a clue that your focus is out of order. Imagine you're driving your automobile with a GPS, and your GPS, your global positioning system, is programmed to guide you to your desired destination. When you go off track, when you go off course, the GPS lets you know, it says recalculating. The GPS lets you know that you're off course and tells you what to do to get back on track to your desired destination. In life, we know that we're off course when the things that we want to do, the things we want to have are not happening, when the results that we are getting in our lives are not what we expected or desired them to be. Our feelings are our GPS for success, our GPS for life. Albert Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. If your life is not going the way you want it to go, it's time for a change. And now change comes under the second law of success, the law of change. It says, be not conformed to this world. You don't have to stay stuck in your present situation. That be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you can change your life by changing your thinking. All right, this is a good point tonight. Take a little break. Let's take a look back in. Okay, some other people have joined us. Great, great, great. Good, good. I can tell that many of you are taking notes. Okay, wow, all right. And if there's any questions that you have, you can type them in. And when we get to the end, we'll handle them. So any questions you have, just type them in and enter, and we'll get there and answer them at the end. All right, let's just take a deep breath for a moment. Let it in. Hold it. Let it out slowly. All right. Let's get back to work. So if your life is not going the way you want it to go, and it's time for a change, then one of the key principles of focus is this: what you recognize, in other words, what you focus on, what you give your attention to, what you give your intention to, what you recognize in your thoughts, you energize in your feeling nature. You see, that is a principle, an operational principle of the first law of success. The first law of success says, a man shall have whatsoever he thinks in his heart. A mind shall have whatsoever they think in their heart. In other words, their feeling. The feeling aspect of the thought is the most powerful aspect. And so what you recognize, whatever you focus on, you energize in your feeling nature. And what you energize in your feelings, you realize in your life experience. And so this concept is great to work backwards. In other words, if your life is not going the way you want it to go, focus. What you're recognizing, what you're energizing, and what you're feeling about the things that you're permitting, the thoughts that you're permitting to come into your mind, into your life, they are what's causing your challenge. So the question is, if things are not going the way you expected them to go, or the way you wanted them to go, are you really ready for a change? You know, sometimes people say, oh, I'm so unhappy, I'm miserable, I don't like the way my life is going. But then they won't take steps to change it. There's a great story about a dog that was sitting on the porch, and the master was sitting next to the dog, and the dog just kept whimpering, just making this noise. And finally, a stranger came by and he looked at the dog and he said, my goodness, the dog seems to be in pain. The master said, yes, he is. He said, what's the problem? I said, well, the dog is sitting on a nail. And he says, well, that sounds terrible. You know, well, why is he sitting there? Well, I mean, why doesn't he do something? And the master says, whenever that nail hurts bad enough, that dog will get up. And so in our lives, if whatever is happening in our lives is painful, is disappointing, it does not make us happy, then our question is, will we continue on this vein to make do, to settle for, and to never have enough? Or will we take steps to make a change? The choice, my friends, is up to you. Wherever your focus grows, whatever you focus on grows. And so if you are focusing on your present condition and you're complaining about it, it will not change. To change your present condition, whatever it may be, you must change your focus, because whatever you focus on grows. And so if you're not happy with where you are, it's because your focus is out of whack. I like to think of the world as 360 degrees of reality. There's 180 degrees of negativity. And you know those people, those associations, those thoughts, the people who are always talking that the glass is half empty. They're always telling you what you can't do, and always saying there's never enough, and they're fearful, and they live a life of make do and never enough. And then there's that 180 degrees of positivity. The interesting thing about the 180 degrees of positivity is you have to do something. You have to have a vision. If you have no vision, then you'll perish, you'll fail. And so the moment you decide you want to change, then you must have a vision of what you want your life to be like in each and every regard. And then you must set goals that will lead you to that vision. And so when we talk about how to overcome lack of focus, then a key element is to make a total commitment to deal with the 180 degrees of positivity, to always see the glass as half full, to look at the law of supply that says there's always enough, to look at the law of change that says you can change anything you want by changing your thinking, by looking at the law of vision that says if you can write the vision and make it plain, then you can run, then you can make a plan to accomplish it. And so once you make this commitment to deal with the positive world, the good world, the empowering world, we can go forward. So what must you do to overcome lack of focus? The other side of that is, what must you do to focus your life? You see, when you have the lack of focus, you're really focusing. It's just that you're not focusing on the things that you want to focus on. Your focus is scattered. So let's look at these 6 steps to overcome the lack of focus. And each one of these steps embodies the universal laws of success. And that is why when I framed this webinar, I wanted to take a problem that most of us have, the lack of focus, and then show how the universal laws of success can be used to change that. And so, how do we overcome lack of focus? 6 steps. Step number 1 is to realize that you can only focus on one thing at a time. You see, focus is like a laser beam rather than a light bulb. Focus cuts through darkness and illuminates one thought, one emotion, one activity, one thing at a time. Now, when you become really proficient at focus and planning and organizing your life, what you'll find is that you go from focused activity to focused activity to focused activity. You get into the cycle of completion. In other words, you focus on one thing. You do the activities necessary to bring that one thing about. You achieve that one thing. You focus on the next thing. When you get really good at it, you can focus on many things, but it's never time. When we talk about focusing on one thing at a time, we're talking about the universal law of action. That universal law of action that says that when you set out a plan, when you have a goal and you execute a plan and you follow that plan, then you'll get results. So chapter 7, the universal law of action, will show you how to focus on one thing at a time and to get it done. Number 2, to be in good health, physically fit and full of energy. I recently had a health challenge. And let me tell you something, folks. When you have a health challenge, it takes your attention away from everything. There's nothing else you can focus on. You see, health challenges can demand your immediate, consistent, and continuous attention. Now, this is interesting. This is one of the ways where intent and attent divide. Your intention can be to do this seminar, can be to do this task, can be to accomplish this thing, but your attention is pulled away. So your intention and your attention separate. And health is one of those things that can make them separate. When you're not physically fit and full of energy, when you lack stamina, when you're just completely absorbed in feelings of tiredness, then these feelings consume your mind and you don't have the energy to do what you must do to accomplish the things you say you want. One of the things about that idea of good health and being physically fit is you have to work as actively on maintaining your good health and being physically fit and full of energy as you do on anything else. There's an Arabian proverb that says that he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. So health is a complete, total ground zero. So those of us on this call, on this training, if your health is out of order, then focus on getting it in order. Your primary thoughts should be on putting you in what we call the position of optimum health, where you get proper rest, where you eat the things that are good for you, where your energy level is high, where you can pursue your dreams. Number 3, to have clearly defined goals that complement and are congruent with your vision and your purpose. Going back to the diagram where we talked about the 180 degrees of positivity, that you must have clearly defined goals that complement and are congruent with your vision and your purpose. The universal law of vision helps you put that in place. If you do not have clearly defined goals, you cannot be focused. Think about this. You want to go on a trip. You want to go on a journey. And you go into the bus station and you say, I would like a ticket. And the agent is going to say, to where? Where to? and you say, oh, I don't have a clue. I don't know, somewhere up north, maybe, I don't know, maybe New York, Philadelphia, maybe even Ohio. He can't sell you a ticket because in order to have a to focus, you must have a destination. So many of us have lack of focus because we don't have clearly defined goals that complement and are congruent with our vision, our purpose. The universal law of vision will help get you on track. And this is on page 62, 63 through 82 of the 12 universal laws of success. Number 4, have faith in your abilities. And then, folks, this is subtle. You see, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So faith has a duality. In other words, it must have an objective. In other words, the substance of things hoped for. You hope for a good life. You hope to achieve a certain amount of income. You hope to get certain things. So it's the substance of things hoped for, and it's the evidence of things not seen. Evidence is absolute belief. So when you want, for example, good health, then you have to have a model of what good health means to you. And then you have to have a feeling of how it's going to be when you have good health. So have faith in yourself and in your abilities. You see, faith gives power to focus. Oh, this is something heavy, folks. Faith gives power to focus. If you have no faith in yourself, if you have no confidence in yourself, if you're insecure about what you want to be, do, and have, you cannot be focused. And so that may be the challenge. It may be that you simply need to work on the faith aspect of who you are. You may need to go back to square one and start looking at some attitudes and some emotions that are crippling you and slowing you down. When you focus on ideas and thoughts, these ideas and thoughts become the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. There's an interesting formula. It used to say C plus B equal A. If you can conceive it, in other words, if you can focus on it and you can believe it, in other words, you have faith in it, then you can achieve it, A. But I have learned over the years, and I'm sure that you have also, there is another element. You got to act on it. So conceive, focus on it, believe, have faith that you can accomplish it, and A, take action on it. Then you will achieve desired results. Number 5, to help overcome lack of focus, realize that all distractions are equal. And not only are they equal, they are equally counterproductive. All distractions undermine you. They take away from your time. They take away from your efforts. They take away from your energy. And let me tell you something, folks. Distractions are incredible. We say keep your eye on the prize, on the goals, on the vision, on your purpose. Any thought, anything, any person, any emotion that is not supportive of and congruent with your goals, your vision, and your purpose is a distraction. Sometimes I want to just look at some serious distractors, things that distract you. One is crisis management. Sometimes you can have your goals so clearly focused in your mind and you're proceeding along to pursue those goals, and other people's crisis will throw you off. It's hard to refuse a family member who needs help, who needs assistance, who needs money. And many times we want to be good people, and so we comply. But sometimes that can become a crutch. Sometimes it can be your ego. You like to be the go-to person. And that can undermine your focus. Because if you're the go-to person and people know it, they're going to go to it. Sometimes it's your own crisis, lack of planning, lack of preparation. So these become distractions to your focus, whether it's your own crises or other people's crises. When it's other people, one thing I want us to recognize is when you see repetitive situations where people have crisis after crisis and they always come to you, you may be doing them a disservice by not making them fly on their own, by not kicking them out of the nest. Telephone and text interruptions. If you're going to be focused on your goals, you have to control the telephone, you have to control the text. People who know me say I'm not text responsive, that I have poor text etiquette. But I tell you this, I don't believe, I'm not going to give every person that much of my intention and that much of my attention so that every text that comes in, I got to look up and read it. Because these are distractions. Lack of goals are distractions. I'm going to share one more. A distraction that we, especially super achievers like we are, attempting to do too much. Many times we can get at that point where we're attempting to do too much, and we can have a list of things so long to do that we never get around to doing them. At the end of the day, we started out with 20 things to do, and we only completed 4, and so 16 things remain undone, and then we got to carry them over to the next day where we already have 20 things to be done. And so when we attempt to do too much, it can make us, it can disappoint us. One, it can frustrate us. It can really undermine our activities. So when you attempt to do too much, when you see you have too much at the end of the day, you may be attempting to do too much. You have to back up. So the universal law of value on pages 135 to 146 can help with that. And then finally, the sixth key to help you overcome lack of focus is to control your body, your instincts, and your emotions. You see, your instincts and your emotions are forces driven by, you might say, your lower nature, your animal nature. That second stage of life, someone asked once, well, what are the 4 stages of life are? The first stage is the stage of education. At first 20 or 25 years where you learn your value system and the basics of living. The second stage of life is the stage of sensation and experience, where you learn about love and sex and competition and all those things that titillate your senses. The third stage is the stage of power, where you pull it all together and you make things happen. And the fourth stage is the stage of immortality, where you look at what you want your life to have stood for. And so when we look at that control, that second stage of life, those things that titillate our senses, we have to take possession of your mind in such strength or degree that your mind can control your emotions, your mind can control your instincts, your mind can control your body. When you can accomplish this, then you can eliminate the lack of focus, overcome it, and you can truly focus on what's important. All right, let's take a little break. Let me take a look and see if there are any critical questions that anyone has typed in. Okay, no questions. Everybody doing well? Are you taking good notes? Is the flow flowing and the go going? Just type me a little message and let me know how it's going for you. And while you're doing that, let's take another break. Okay. So it's going good for everybody. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's just take another deep breath. Just for a moment, let's just close our eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Close our eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And let it out slowly. All right. Okay. Any questions? Is this going good? Is this stimulating you? Is this making you want to do something different? All right. Let's get back to work. So when we begin to really utilize our power of focus, there's something that happens. There was a story, I think George Burns, a movie called Oh God. And the little boy, George Burns was God, and the little boy said, wow, if you're God, why do you create sickness and darkness and bad things? And George Burns said that, I'm God. He said, but even though I'm God, I've never been able to figure out how to create an up without a down, how to create light without darkness, how to create life without death. And so once you begin your success journey, once you're on the path, there appears to be a negative aspect, a negative part of you that works against the positive things you attempt to do. I mean, they just seem to come out of the woodwork. This part of you is in disharmony with the positive part of you that's pursuing your goals, pursuing your vision, pursuing your purpose. This negative part of you functions as a saboteur in all your endeavors. What are some of the tools of the saboteur? That aspect of us that slows us down, that undermines us. Some of the tools of the saboteur are distractions. Talked about that. Discouragement. Discouragement is one of the most powerful tools because it works slowly. Discouragement, you keep failing and failing, and you slowly get less, you lose your confidence. And you don't want to try again. We often say it's not how many times you stumble down, it's the number of times you pick yourself up off the ground and keep moving on to meet your goals. But when you get discouraged, each time you fall down, a little doubt creeps in. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I can't do this. Another tool of the saboteur is distrust. One of the laws of success is that law of human attraction, where two or more gather on one accord. I am the making principle, the making power. I am among them. So when two or more gather on one accord, 1 + 1 is more than 2. But if you distrust other people, you can never get that harmonic vibration. You can never create that harmonic relationship. So when two people who are on different accord try to do something, it fails. Doubt, indecision, procrastination, apathy, arrogance, isolation, low self-esteem. The saboteur can take you out. It's like those weeds that you have this beautiful garden and you're not tending it. You're not taking care of the weeds. So these weeds will consume you. But the saboteur is neutralized by constantly focusing your intention and your attention, focusing your actions, focusing your feelings, your habits, your associations on your goals, your vision, and your purpose. That's why this focus is so powerful. Because when you focus on your goals, your vision, and your purpose, the saboteur will quit. You keep pulling up those weeds, okay, your flowers will grow. To focus your attention, your actions, and your feelings requires self-discipline. And that's why we often say the law of focus is codified or modified by the law of self-discipline. Let me do one before we go into self-discipline. There's one thing that can throw you off, and that's anger. And I want to put this here because I saw some young people today, and they seemed to be doing something really nice. They were out playing in the pool, and then one of them pushed the other one slipped, and then they got into a huge fight. The police came. So anger is one of those main causes of loss of focus. The emotion of anger lets you know that when someone makes you angry, they have taken control of your mind. Being angry means somebody else is pulling your strings. Don't give in to the feelings and the thoughts of anger. Always stay positive. So just remember this, from this day on, let nobody make you angry. When they try to make you angry, you just keep smiling and say, ain't it great? Fantastic. Learn how to do those things that just make people think you're absolutely crazy. And I'll challenge you to this, that To be in control, you must always be positive. So for the next 6 months, stay away from all negativity. Stay as far away from negative people, from negative thoughts, from negative feelings, and watch yourself fly. Self-discipline is what gives you the power to not get angry. Self-discipline is what gives you the power to take possession of your mind. So self-discipline, to have self-control or self-discipline, means that you have taken possession of your mind in such strength or degree that your emotions, your instincts, and your body are under your control. Self-discipline is control from within. When you have self-discipline, you don't need control from without. You determine your destiny. You determine what you will and will not do. Your self-discipline begins with your thoughts. Earl Nightingale said, you become what you think about most of the time. So if you cannot control your thoughts, then you cannot control your actions and your emotions. So that first law of success, the law of thought, together with the second law, the law of change, means that you have to change your thinking to accommodate your goals, your vision, and your purpose. When you have control over your thoughts, you can never be mastered by others. You know, they can even lock you up in prison, but still they can't control your thinking. When you have control of your thoughts, you will always be able to take possession of whatever you're entitled to, because you can withstand the negativity of others. You have the ability to hang in there, to keep trying, to keep plugging, to keep moving until the results are in. So if you're ready for a change and the results you're getting in your life, in your relationships, and in your business, my friends, you are at the right place at the right time, because I'm going to show you how to program your success GPS, your success goal positioning system, to be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have whatever you want to have. Let's take a little breather. Okay, great. All right. Yes, it is recorded. We're going to have a replay of absolutely. Thank you so much, Esther. Beautiful. Billy, great. Marcella, oh, you know it's recorded. You know it is. So let's take a deep breath. We're going to, in our final leg of this presentation, take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And so it is. All right. We're in the final leg now. So if you're ready for a change, according to the second law of success, if you're lost on your success GPS, you don't have to stay lost. You can change your situation. You can change your life by changing your thinking and developing written goals. I'll tell you this, sometimes you have to look at the way it can be to see what you have to do to get there. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you didn't quit the last time you threw in the towel? Can you imagine what your life would be like if you didn't let yourself get distracted by other people's crises, by telephones, by your own lack of planning? What would your life be like if you didn't lose the vision of that you want to be, do, and have? What would your life be like if you did not lose faith in yourself, if you stayed focused on the positive? What would your life be like if you did not lose faith in the process, where you just got so beat down that you just quit and you just said, nothing good comes to me? Well, folks, when you look at that, it's going to make you, let's make a change. So to make a change in your life, what must you do? Well, first, You got to review and evaluate your performance to date in each and every aspect of your life. We live a harmonic life, so look at your personal situation. Maybe you needed to lose weight. Maybe you have some other issues. Look at your family. Maybe you need to build your relationship better. Look at your career. Maybe you need to get some more education. Look at your finances. Maybe you need to really make a change because the money's not happening. Maybe you have more month at the end of the money. Look at your social relationships, how you get along with people in the world. Look at your community. Look at all these things because you're a part of all of that. Your success GPS often requires a complete reset. You got to put in a new destination and let it recalculate. 4 areas for changing your life: your thinking, your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your association. So as you begin to refine your focus, focus on the positive thoughts, the empowering thoughts. Focus on the emotions that uplift you, that honor you, that make you feel good about yourself. Focus on the habits that put you in harmony with all the good things that you're seeking. Focus on the associations, the people who love you, who honor you, who respect you, and who lift you up. Thoughts, you become what you think about most of the time. Think good thoughts. Emotions, focus on the positive: confidence, contentment, mindfulness. Forget the negative emotions: joy, patience. Habits, we first make our habits, then our habits make us. We know the habits that are undermining our success, so make a commitment to change them. You don't just say, I'm not going to do that. You have to change a habit and replace it with a good habit. Your associations. We are the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. If you're spending time with 5 unhappy people, guess what? If you're spending time with 5 broke people, guess what? If you're spending time with 5 people who are chilling and have not a clue, guess what? You got it. So what's it going to take to change? It's going to take time. You didn't get here overnight. It's going to take some time. It's going to take study. You have to have the attention and the intention. It's going to take work. It's going to take support where 2 or more gather on one accord to uplift you. It's going to take validation because people have to tell you that you're doing well, that you're doing okay. It helps lift you up. And it's going to take accountability. You got to keep score. So this is why we decided to introduce and to offer the 8-session New You webinar. Now I'll tell you, you may have heard a little about it, and I'll tell you this, that to do the things that you need to do to put your focus at the point where you can do what you have to do to be the person you want to be, these 8 sessions will change your life. Let me tell you a little about it. Over the last 4 years, we've done over 200 millionaire mentorship calls. We've trained and coached and mentored thousands of people who want to change their lives and live their dreams. And so the New You webinar is a study program. It's interactive. It's a workshop. It's a mastermind team. And it really is about creating a success nurturing environment. You know, a lot of times we need that. Birds of a feather flock together. Well, this is a flock you can hang with and you'll learn how to fly. So the New You webinar, there are 8 topic areas, 8 sessions. Let me show you how they all work together. Session 1, overcoming fear, negative beliefs. You see, if we have fear and if we have negative beliefs, then that's a part of focus that's been taking us down. So we need to turn that around so that we can overcome fear of change, overcome fear of failure, overcome fear of criticism. Eliminate those negative beliefs. So that's the foundation. We have to clear out the weeds first. Then the second session is attitude determines altitude. You see, your attitude is what you radiate to the world. You see, when you had all those fears inside and those negative beliefs, that's what you were radiating out, and people get it and they respond accordingly. But when your attitude changes, when you start having an attitude of gratitude where you appreciate people and let them know it, they return the favor. So your attitude, the session number 2, we show you how to build a new attitude, how to change your thinking, how to change your feeling, how to go back into the past and change those things, because your attitude determines your altitude. And this third session, how big is your dream? You know, we talked about one of the main reasons people lose focus is because they don't have clearly defined goals. And so we deal with how big is your dream, where we go through the law of vision. That law of vision shows you to write the vision and make it plain, to draw the vision and make it clear. You're going to write your dreams. If you don't write them, you won't do them. The fourth session is about the law of action, getting things done. You know, there's a sequence. If you notice, the people who are very, very successful seem to have a system for getting things done. Well, we're going to talk about that seventh law of success, the law of action, how to do what must be done efficiently and effectively. And then the fifth session is about solving the riddle of survival. You know, we work with, one of the attitudes we work with is your attitude toward money. We want to show you that money is a powerful servant, but a nasty master. And so to put money in its proper place, and the riddle of survival is how do you maximize your earning? You look at the 4 ways to create wealth. How do you maximize your earning? How do you spend intelligently? How you save a part of what you don't spend, and how you invest to grow even more. We also talk about a budget. If you don't have a budget, you will not be successful. That's a bold statement. It's a blanket statement, but I'll tell you this. Everybody that I've ever met who've had truly sustaining success has had a budget. Then the sixth session is time management. Time management is where you often lose it because those distractions that undermine your ability to focus are often time bound. And so in time management, we're going to talk about the 4 quadrants, how to plan. We're going to talk about how to use time management to get things done, how to lay out your plans, and how to recognize the 10 time wasters so you see them coming and you know how to act accordingly, how to live your life by the time question, which is, what is the best use of my time right now when I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose? The 7th session is about making a breakthrough. Because once you put it all together, folks, something happens. In every one of our classes, something happens where people just make an incredible breakthrough. All of a sudden, things become clear that were not clear before. And then they walk out of there with the attitude of only success. Many times you fail because you refuse to lose. But I say you win when there's no other option, only success. That to leave with that attitude that whatever it is, you can do it. Whatever the challenge, you can meet it. Whatever the obstacle, you can overcome it. We also talk about how you can share and train and earn money in our program. So let's look at a recap. We're looking at 8 one-hour training sessions plus 4 interactive mastermind group sessions where you get to interact with other people and feel that love and support. You get a success bundle, which consists of our best-selling book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, and I've been referring to pages in the book. You get the ebook version because many of us now have the books on the computer and on our phones, so you get an ebook version also. You get a workbook because that idea of changing your life, changing your thinking, changing your habits, it's a work in progress. And so the workbook, 12 ways to improve your self-image. One of the great exercises is to draw your vision, where you actually draw a picture of where you would like to be 5 years from today with your family, with your possession, with your education, with your business. When you draw it, it makes it real. So the bundle is the book, the calendar, the workbook, and the success calendar. Every month we have a calendar, a beautiful picture. Each month has a law. The January, the law of success, the first law of success. Thoughts become things in accord with the nature and feeling of the thoughts. We have an affirmation for the month. I become what I think about the most of the time. And a place to write your 6 goals for each month. You get the 12 affirmations to live by poster. You know, as you begin to reprogram your mind and take possession of your mind, these affirmations give you a way to present and a way to train your mind to do the things you want to do, to have the things you want to have. Then you get over 12 hours of audio downloads, overcoming procrastination, getting out of a rut. These audios are designed to interact with the class so that you can be immersed in the process of transformation. You get a certificate of completion and a certification so you can hang it on your wall. You get an affiliate license to market New You webinars and a personal interview for graduates who want to become trainers themselves and do what I'm doing. So what's it all cost? It all comes down to what's it cost. Normally, this New You webinar is $997. And let me tell you something, folks. The person, when I studied this, it was a $39.97 deal. But we knew that meant that only certain people could get it. So $997. But we went another step further because we want you to take this information and use it, work with it. You become like a light validating what we're doing. And so we have a special introductory offer of $397, one payment. If money is a challenge, we have some other payment options. Installment plan A, which is 3 payments of $150 a month. An installment plan B, which is 6 payments, $85 per month. I'm sorry, $85 every 2 weeks. I personally recommend the one-time payment. You'll find that it does something to you when you do that. At the end of the webinar, you should have a game plan for achieving your 2 most important goals. You should identify and confront your fears, insecurities, and negative beliefs that have held you back. You should have a written budget and a game plan to use wealth-building principles to maximize your income, control your spending, and consistently save and prudently invest. Specific steps to manage your time effectively and efficiently so that you can overcome procrastination, distractions, and lack of focus. Plus, an accountability and support system that continues after the webinar is completed. We have a mastermind group that meets every week. And then a next step opportunity for those who wish to market and or teach the New You webinars. So folks, some of the achievers, some of the people who've taken the webinar already have said some really powerful things. Carolyn Blue, a blogger and relationship course, said the New You webinar has sparked an energy that I have needed for over 3 years to move forward in my business. Dr. Ruby Bray, PhD, said that your webinar has created a new level of understanding regarding what is possible. Janelle Chase Myers, the Fit Chic movement. She has a gym and she's a PhD candidate down in Barbados. Just 8 sessions changed the way I view my success and the way in which I am to focus on creating my value to self and my value to the world. Mr. Webb said, this webinar is the best investment I've made to myself in many years. Yvonne Jackson said, we've just been blown away. Your classes are so easy to relate. I wish I had them 10 years ago. So let's recap. I told you we're going to wrap this up. 8 sessions in the New You webinar, normally $995 at 60% discount. That's $397 for 8 training sessions plus 4 mastermind group sessions. The success bundle, the downloads, the audio downloads. The best way to become a part of the New You webinar training is to invest $397 today in yourself. But we say this, if money is a challenge, you can set up the payment plan, 3 payments, $150 a month, or 6 payments of $85 every 2 weeks. But one of the things I've found over 30 years of helping people be better, do better, and have more is that the true achievers, they make a decision and they take action. We'd like to limit the New You webinar to 25 students because that gives you the opportunity to interact and to get your questions answered. And so I say this, register now because the session is starting. Oops. Let me go back. Here we go. Register now because we want to keep the class limited to 25 students. The first 12 achievers who enroll today will have a personal assessment interview. I'll send you some forms to complete and a strategy session with me personally before the webinar starts so that we can sort of get a sense of a strategy and a game plan that can help you do what you need to do to get where you want to go. You can register now at, of course, newuwebinars.com, https://newuwebinars.com/join. I'll be sending an email immediately after this webinar within about an hour. It'll have the link to join. And the first 12 of you that join and enroll in the webinar, I'll do that personal assessment and we'll set it up over the next couple of days. So folks, register now. Any questions you have, you can email me at herbert@herbertharris.com. Remember, herbert@herbertharris.com. Remember this, the best is yet to come. I look forward to working with each and every one of you because this I know, that if you can develop your focus, refine it till it becomes like laser focus, there's nothing you cannot accomplish. There's nowhere you cannot go. There's nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. Your only limitation will be your imagination. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing this evening and sharing this webinar. And any questions, be sure to email me at herbert@herbertharris.com. Herbert@herbertharris.com. Let's join in. I look forward to working with you. Have a great, magnificent evening. The best is yet to come. Thank you and good night.